everybody, so my name is LaPretty and welcome to my page known as the Dominican Voodoo Spiritualist. So today I'm going to be talking about boundaries. So this year for 2026, it seems like the lesson that a lot of people need to learn are boundaries. So boundaries are pretty much when you have these, I want to say like these fences in between like your public life and private life, your standards, your preferences, your feelings, and your emotions. Boundaries are pretty much those protective barriers that tell people, hey, you're getting too close, or hey, let me be the one to reveal these things to you instead of you digging in and trying to dig in my life and, see what's, going on with me before I'm ready to tell or if I'm comfortable enough to tell it. Because I was talking to my friend the other day and he was talking to me about his dating life and whatnot. And I said, you know what? The reason why you keep having all these issues with women where they keep coming into your life and they keep using you, popping in and out, thinking that they could just talk to you and then not talk and text you all day and then disappear is because you don't set any type of boundaries. You don't have any type of like rules or like regulations or whatnot. And the thing is like I've heard so many different things that just put so much into perspective is that our world and our society has lost maturity. Everybody wants to be immature, everybody wants to be young, everybody wants to be old, um, happy go lucky, yada yada, but nobody wants to have standards. Nobody wants to have boundaries, or really nobody wants to have respect. Because a lot of people forget that you don't have to overshare. You don't always have to tell all your business, but you don't always have to be in somebody's business all the time and, gossip and talk and whatnot. Because it just seems like we've lost a lot of maturity. We've lost our grown and sexy. We've lost our, suaveness when it comes to being, older or an adult or grown pretty much. You remember how like, in the 90s, early 2Ks, like when you were in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, it was so cool to be like the unc or the auntie or like the cool older sister that, was 28, 29. And, she had this like maturity about herself, but she was still relatable. And, she was still, respectful. And she was like in a sense of authority because of her age and her maturity to be that guide and to tell you what to do. But now we've lost it. It's like the definition now of being grown is making a lot of money, doing whatever you want to do, owning stuff, and just being able to run stuff like you the boss without really having any type of boundaries or any type of respect for authority or anybody else but yourself. And it's a lot of selfishness and a lot of, just self seeking like attention. And it's like in today's world, we don't have that like we used to. And I hate to say it, but people now affiliate being grown and mature with being old. People feel like you ain't supposed to be that grown or that mature until you're like 80, 90 years old. Like, no, you could be that way now. But the thing is like, it's not celebrated. And it's like, for some reason, people like my generation, because I'm a 90s baby, we tend to have this issue with like being mature. Like everybody wants to act like a teenager, everybody wants to still be in high school, and people just still want to be mean and bully and ridicule and stuff. Like I have never dealt with bullying to the extent that I've dealt with bullying at this age in my teenage years. Like when I was a kid, teenager, whatever, I never dealt with as much bullying as I have as an adult when I was a kid. And it's mainly because people had respect for each other and respect for other people. And people wasn't so quick to be popular and to be known and to be so deviant and just be filled with so much devilment. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of people need to learn how to protect their peace and how to have boundaries. Because I have been, picked apart and ridiculed for not being open and oversharing and talking and running my mouth and whatnot. And I've even been seeing it like on threads and on social media and have dealt with it in real life. A lot of women, especially women of color, in our community, we promote being loud. We promote telling all our business. We promote telling all our bedroom business, who we sleep with, who we kick it with, who we kiss, who we touch, who we done had this experience with. It's almost like it's promoted to not have privacy and to not have, boundaries and to not tell everything and to just not be in people's business. And then we just hold each other up to these high, unrealistic standards of, being an adult where, oh, you need to have this, you need to have that, you need to have this, that, and the third in order for you to be seen as somebody who's respectable. It's like long gone are the days of being religious and nobody would touch you or talk about you. Long gone are the days of you being the quiet person that don't bother nobody. You do what you're supposed to do your work, respectful, kind, sweet, and you didn't even have to say as much for people to see your spirit. But now it's like the complete opposite. Everybody got to be loud to be seen. Oh, you got to be loud now in order for you to be chosen or for you to be liked or for you to be loved. And now you got to be a gossiper and run and tell other people business and be somebody's, simp or somebody's, water girl or a minion or a sidekick and stuff. It's like it's no individuality anymore. And then now you have this, head honcho, um, you know, top dog, top chick, and then if you don't have the same amount of favor or attention or just like popularity as her, now you get put in the minion category. You can't talk when I'm talking. You can't outshine me. You can't outdo me. You can't and it's almost like you can't be yourself to the point where if you become yourself and you shine and get what you're supposed to get, the head honcho gets so jealous and mean spirited. Now you can't have friends no more because in order for you to be friends with certain people, you have to water and diminish yourself just to have them and to be around them. Like life is so different than it was 20 years ago and even 10 years ago because it just was not this hard relating to people and being in proximity to people or just being friends or even being like family with people because people just have these high standards and criteria and just requirements now for just being somebody to somebody, and it really shouldn't be that hard to be in a relationship or even be in a friendship with somebody. Like, of course, when you're in a relationship friendship, you want to be relatable because you can't have a connection, you can't have friends if you're not relatable, if you can't relate. But a lot of times people just feel like, oh, well, she got to have this. She got to look this way. She got to look that way, da da da, in order for us to be friends. And I'm saying that's why you got so many people that's sick and sad and down and out because of constant judgment and the ridicule and the bullying. Like, I believe that adult bullying now is at an all time high and it's way worse than it was probably 10 years ago because people just don't have any type of maturity and people have no type of self-respect or respect for others, and people just like abusing their power and their authority. Like, oh, I got a house, I can talk to you any kind of way. Oh, I'm a manager, I can talk to you any kind of way. Oh, I'm popular, I get this, I get that, I can handle you any type of way. And it's like, no. And then it's like now you don't even get respected anymore for sticking up for yourself or standing up for yourself because now you causing problems and starting commotion. So it's like if you the one that get done wrong all the time, you just have to stick to that role and can't speak up and can't say nothing. Like we live in a crazy world right now where abuse is at an all time high, but like it's just so valued to be just disrespected and degraded, or if not being the one that receives disrespect and degradation, you have to be the one that gives it. And it's like if you ain't the bully, you ain't the boss, you ain't the one talking down to people all the time, you just nothing to people. And I'm saying like a lot of y'all gonna have some crazy karma and crazy toxicity and just bad luck and bad energy that's just gonna always follow you. Or just some type of dysfunction and confusion that's gonna always follow you for being that way. I know people, don't always feel like karma hits when it's supposed to, or that it actually exists. It does. Like if you're a person like me who is connected to like the divine, who's connected to God and one of God's favorites, like when people do you wrong, they're gonna get their karma. They are. And sometimes you may have to do a little doop to doop in order for people to get it. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Because, if you're wrong, we're wrong, and that's just it. But my thing is that having boundaries is what needs to be done. Because the reason why people do get respected and the reason why people do get, messed up and judged and, hurt and whatnot is because they let people have too much of a say over their life. They let people have too much of a say in their lives, and they let people have too much of a say over what they're doing and what they have. Because this is why oversharing and this is why letting everybody in your business and picking and choosing what you tell people is vital. Because when you open up that door or when you open up that gate of letting people see your heart and letting people see your thoughts and whatnot, depending on what it is and who it is that you're telling it to, they may disregard it, negate it, disrespect it, or they may feel the need to just pull it up anytime they, feel like it when you're talking to them, or you could be in a group chat or at a family function, and all of a sudden they feel the need to pull up something you told them in confidence, and now you battling them about telling your business or making it seem as though because this one little thing they know about you is so special, so unique, they feel like it has to be a conversation piece or it has to be a debate every time you and this person have a conversation. And not only that, but a lot of times the reason why people get pushed around, shoved around, and bullied and disrespected and even cheated on in relationships is because you don't have boundaries with people. You don't tell people what to say and what not to say to you. You don't tell people how to treat you. You don't tell people what your rules and regulations are as far as like a business person, a person in a family, or a person in a relationship. And sometimes that can be hard for people, especially people that are really nice and sweet, or people who have been just so conditioned to putting up and accepting everything all the time. Because some people may not want to say this or admit it, but a lot of people who have grown up in families that were taught to just put up with everything, they more than likely got conditioned to be abused. And sometimes this even happens on jobs where if you check somebody or you say something to somebody, now they done wrote up this, hard to decipher rule book that kind of says in its own way, if you check somebody or say something to somebody or whatever, it's interpreted as starting mess and causing commotion and creating a hostile work environment when it's really the other way around. And you'll be, a candidate to be fired or a candidate to be written up. So it's just a lot of conditioning that people have been put under to be abused and to be made to feel like they have to be nice all the time. But when you're too nice or when you're nice all the time, people start to see this gushy teddy bear in you and be like, oh, well, I can lash her, or oh, I can cut her, oh, I can box her up, or I can say this, that, and her, and she ain't gonna say nothing, or better yet, I can say something about her, and by her being so happy go lucky, I can control the narrative. Because I hate to say it, but sometimes when you're too nice too fast, or when you're just too nice in general, people will use it as an opportunity to humiliate you and to ruin you. Because you can't be nice and happy go lucky everywhere you go. Some environments do not welcome nice people. And I'm just being honest. Some environments hate nice people. You come in there smiling, cheese, and da da da. Them people will hate the mess out of you or can't stand it, or they feel like, oh, she easy, I can move over on her. And it's just the way that some people have been raised or conditioned, or it's just the environment. Because some environments don't connect through niceness. They connect through vibes and, seeing the relatability or seeing, the sameness in other people instead of people just, saying hey and sitting down and speaking to people. And in some environments do welcome people that say hey and speak and welcome people and whatnot. But a lot of times it's not a safe thing to do to just be nice to people that you don't know, because you don't know what this person's capable of doing or saying, because some people are so evil and so vile, they can shatter your spirit as soon as they open their mouths. Because their spirit is just that evil and that wicked and just so hurtful like that. Because you got some hurt, mean, and evil people out here where even just breathing around them makes you feel uncomfortable, or it just gives you this kind of hurt, like chilly feeling. You feel eerie or unease. And my thing is that when you set boundaries with people, people know how to talk to you. They know how to speak to you. They know how to communicate and whatnot. And it's sad to say that at this day, in this day and age, you would think that since people are grown and adults, this wouldn't even need to be a conversation, and no groundwork wouldn't have to be laid down, because boundaries are something that we learn as kids. You know to mind your business. You know not to ask people too many questions about a death in the family, or a sickness, or a disease, or their sexuality, or who they're dating and seeing, or who they are frequenting with that they may not want everybody to know. It's like growing up, we're told to mind our business, and that certain things are made for certain groups and age groups and certain people and whatnot. It's like that's taught from, that should be taught from like toddler age, to mind your business and to stick to what you know, or only stick to what people introduce you to, or being taught what to say yes or no to. But it just seems like people have not been taught that, or they just forgot that, or people just simply don't have respect. Because the way I see it is this: I don't necessarily go out of my way to teach people how to treat me or how to respect me, because I assume that, since I'm around adults, you should know how to treat a fellow adult. You know how to speak, you know how to not speak if you don't want to speak to me. You know how to leave me alone if you don't want nothing to do with me. You know how to approach me, you know how to speak to me. You know how to respect my boundaries, not to ask me too many questions, or ask me inappropriate questions, or talk to me as if I'm a 5-year old when I'm not. And I assume those things right off the bat, but sad to say, in a lot of instances, I've had to check a lot of people. And I've had to set some people straight and sit some people down when talking to me, because it's like, we're adults. We should know how to speak to people. But like I said, some people don't. And, you just have to teach people how to treat you, and teach people how to speak to you and how to talk to you. Because if not, people will talk to you any kind of way. They will treat you any kind of way and not feel sorry or any ways about it, because people just do not care. And the thing that's just so bad nowadays too is that people feel as though if you don't look a certain way, if you don't dress a certain way, or if you don't make like a specific amount of money, they just treat you just so inhumanely. They see you as somebody to not even discuss, not any. They see you as somebody to not even speak to or even to look at. I have been around people that are just so arrogant that they feel as though since they look pretty, since they look good, or since they're so rich, or since they're just so out of my experience realm, that they will send somebody else to speak to me on their behalf, because they feel like they're too good enough to speak to me. I've had that happen before. And I've had people who felt as though they were just so much more attractive than me that they would turn their head and wave their hand as their way of speaking to me, because they felt like I was too ugly for their prettiness or handsomeness, and my ugliness would somehow shatter their beauty. But yeah, you got a lot of people out there that's like this, where they feel as though they're just too good to be courteous to people, or they just feel like they just too, rich, too nice looking, or just too much of something to even like speak to you or to even say anything to you. And it's just really weird, and it's just really sad. But it's like at the end of the day, boundaries are very important. When you teach people how to treat you, when you teach people how to talk to you, it sets the stage and the tone for how people see you. But one thing to not get twisted is, if somebody refuses to respect your boundaries, even after you set them, then you need to quit talking to that person. Because I think a lot of times we think that if we stand up for ourselves, and if we have boundaries and whatnot, oh yay, everybody gonna respect me and I'm gonna be seen as an adult. But everybody will not respect you even when you teach them how to respect you, how to speak to you, and what your boundaries are. And if they don't honor and respect that, you need to cut them off. Cutting people off is a boundary. When you block people, when you cut people off, and when you tell people what it is and what it's not, that's your boundary. Because like everybody's not gonna like us, and like I said, sometimes people feel that they should still disrespect you just because, even after you done told them 1,001 times to not to respect you, and they refuse to. And I feel like when people refuse to see you for who you are and what you want them to see you as, you just have to let them go, because then you'll be the one that looks stupid and silly and sad for constantly beating a dead horse and really talking to somebody that don't want to listen to you, let alone respect you. Because some people out here, they feel like they are just so perfect or so whatever they are that they don't have to respect people that they feel like are less respectable to them. And that's just the world we live in, because we see it on these dating shows like Pop the Balloon. We see it with the president and how he is, and with a lot of these like top notch celebrities getting called out for, sexual assault and abuse allegations and stuff. People feel as though if they're a certain caliber of a person, that they don't have to respect you, even if you tell them to respect you. So I say this to say this, that in 2026, we need to start respecting ourselves and having boundaries, being more selective about what we share and what we don't share with people, but also just protecting your heart. Like, you don't have to be a nun and be shut up and, and just a quiet mouse or anything like that. You could still speak and talk to people, but it's more about protecting your peace and your reputation and protecting your heart. Because yes, sometimes people still gonna talk and gossip about us, even if we don't tell our business and say anything. But you have to set the tone for how you want to be treated and how you want to be seen in life. Be how you want to be treated, how to be seen in life by setting boundaries. Because when you set boundaries and when you teach people how to treat you, how to talk to you, that's when things will get better for you and you'll start to become a more defined person. Because it's better to be a defined person that knows who they are and attract people who match that, instead of being this happy go lucky that just follows people like some lapdog or whatever into any and everything, and not having any type of identity. Because a lot of times those people are more susceptible to being hurt or pulled into situations that they never had any business being a part of. Because you do see some people who get blessed and get, rewarded for being, a sidekick or a follower and whatnot. But I mean, you have to give up a lot of yourself to be one. And 9 times out of 10, everybody that's a follower don't get praised and celebrated or rewarded for it. So in life, you just have to really, pick and choose who you want to be, but pick and choose how you want to be seen. But I say this to say this, that if you are tired of people disrespecting you, tired of people talking about you, bullying you, or walking all over you, you need to set boundaries. Because even I, as a business person, like clients, as a spiritualist, we go through it. I even did a thread today saying that do not talk me to death to try to confuse me for me to do a service for you for free, all because you don't want to pay. I want my coins just like the last spiritualist you went to that wanted their coins when you paid them. Because people are a trip when it comes to this stuff. Like, I've been doing this now for 6 years. In May, it'll be 6 years since I've been in business as a spiritualist. People will dog you out. Like, I done been there and done that with being highly respected. But I done been there and done that where people felt like, since I was a spiritual person, that I shouldn't have been paid what I asked for, that I shouldn't have been paid what I was worth, and that I deserved to be like talked down to, all because I was a spiritual person and stuff. And and I've had to like tell people to come correct, and I've had to block people. I've had to I think I might have did I refund? No, I don't do refunds, but I blocked people, and I've had to hang up on people and not, do services and whatnot for people because of them being rude or disrespectful, or just not, respecting my boundaries. Like, as a business person, clients will get over on you if they don't want to pay, if they ain't got the money, and some of them will even come to you being arrogant, thinking they better than you, and you the one that own the business and giving the services. And that's what be baffling to me, that you got some people who will come to your business thinking they can outdo you in your own business, and they the one coming to you to get business. Like, it's ridiculous. And I've had to, tell people, like, I'm the one you coming to for services. You coming to me for a reading, not the other way around. And it's just a lot of them that's just like real arrogant and real pompous when it comes to that. But hopefully you guys got the message of what I was trying to say in this video. So please set boundaries. Please respect yourself. And please, just respect your energy and your aura so that you could be loved and received properly and don't have to deal with being picked apart or being violated. Because no matter who you are or what you deserve to be respected, and people do not have the right to violate you by picking you apart and preening and prying and just getting into business that's not theirs.